I want to do the second part of who's to blame. Who is to blame? Um, okay, my life, my story. Um, it's really odd. People will have a perception of you or think they know um, everything, right? They think they know your story. And it'd be like a lot of false information. It'd be like, that's not even what happened. It'd be like, um, that's not true. This is true, but that's not true at all. I don't even know where you got that from. Um, and there's this perception that and not even perception, but this bias that is birthed from it, right? And we all do implicit bias. I've already spoken about that, and it comes literally like second nature. So I forgot the game, but it's if Susie says the sky is gray, and she tells Billy, and then Billy tells Joan, and then Joan tells Rob, and Rob tells James. Um, by the time it gets to like the 10th person, the fifth person, it literally turns into from the sky is gray to like the sky is black, or the sky is it's so gray it's blue, or it's some crazy stupid stuff. Sometimes it'd be like the sky is red, and you'd be like, that's not, it's a whole different color. Like, um and that happens a lot of the times, right? And unfortunately, no one actually goes to the horse's mouth and really just asks them. Just go plain out, just ask them. Like, hey, I heard X, Y, and Z. Is this true? You'd be surprised what people will actually talk to you about. I mean, I for one, I know there's like a fear of judgment, right? Nobody likes to be judged, but it happens all the time. You're gonna judge me whether you say anything to me or not, right? Um, People will judge you even without them even knowing you, without you even saying hello. So really, does it really matter? Like you're already judged anyway, right? It's really hard not to judge people. It's really hard to get all the facts before you make an assumption. We all like to categorize because we need to feel like there's order in our life, right? You belong here, I belong here, or we belong in a certain group, or you are outcast and I'm over here, and if you let validation rule you, you're always going to try to be on the imperialistic side. So you're constantly looking at people and assessing them, and it literally becomes a caste system. It is high school all over again. I don't think we ever left high school. And people will be like in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 70s, 80s. And they will not ask you anything. They will not try to figure out what the truth is by really asking the truth. They would rather use their imagination, um, or go off of the naming game or whatever that game is. And instead of them seeing you as the sky is gray, they see you as the sky is red. You're like, there's no color in my fucking skies. The skies are gray, bitch. Like this, it's fully gray. There's no color in there. Um, and it's weird, very weird. So it's like, who's to blame? Who's to blame? Is it the person? Well, obviously, if you really look at it, it's people that don't act shit and just make up shit, right? um, and it's scary because some people will say things as though it's sound doctrine. Like that's the most scariest person, it's the most dangerous person, someone that can actually create a facade and believe it when they say it. It's insane. Um, and then it's funny because you can hear one thing about a person and from somebody else, not even from the person that you heard about, and you'll be talking to the person and you'll be like, wow, you're kind of opposite of what I heard, right? And then you'll start, instead of you seeing the fact in front of you, what you'll do is that you'll make up any other excuse to justify what you heard than the actual fact that you see, right? That's like someone, okay, use me as an example. That's like saying I lived this type of way, right? I did this in the past or whatever, right? And you're talking to me in present time and you're like, that person doesn't exhibit any behaviors that are like that. Um, so what you'll do is that maybe that person just has dementia. Dementia is a very drastic that's a drastic theory, I would say. To think that somebody has dementia over something that you heard, it's really, it's stupid. Um, Instead of you just asking, so it doesn't make sense. But people do that, right? They'll make any kind of excuse, like, oh, maybe the person just, they bump their head and then they don't remember, or maybe that person's lying because I heard this. The thing is that when it comes to the naming game, you don't actually know who the real source is because it's went through so many people. It's like you can't even the source that you think is you got it from. It's not even a sound source. It literally is just what you heard. So can you blame yourself for not doing your you're not for not doing your due diligence, or can you blame the person that started this facade, right? Or can you blame the person that you're trying to figure out, like, and then on top of that, why are you trying to figure out something that has nothing to do with you? In all actuality, it's just like most people don't mind their business. Most people want to know all the juicy secrets, right? And some people make up juicy secrets to make a boring life um, something worth talking about, right? There was something that was told to me years ago, and it really stuck in my head, to really see how people can be. It really scared me. It really fucked me up. And the person was like, if you got a good girl, you know, do some digging up on her. And if you can't find something, dirty her up. Oh, it was it. If you have a good girl, try to dig up some dirt on them. If you can't find any dirt, then dirty her up. That's the most craziest thing I've ever heard. And it was just like, if you have somebody good, cherish them. What the fuck? Why would you want to ruin something that's good? But people do that. Um, and we do it every day. Every day. It's really, really fucked up. I'm not going to go into details because that's something that if you really wanted to know, you just ask me. You really wanted to know? Ask me. If you really wanted to know about someone, ask them. Straight up. You'd be like, yo, bro, I heard this about you. It actually shows that you care. It's either A, that you're nosy or that you truly care. Um, and usually people can tell by your intentions. They can feel your vibe. Straight up. Um, and I think it's honorable, and the person respects you more. It's just like, well, thank you for bringing this um, to me. Thanks for bringing this up to light. Because as the whole game is playing, the person that you're doing the name game with, about, they know a name game is going around. They just don't know exactly what it said and who sourced it, or who's keeping the name game going. Um, but they get hints and they can feel what's going on around them. I guess it's empathic, is your empath or whatever you want to call that. But everyone has that mechanism in them. It's up to you if you exercise it. You can feel when there's a chill in the air. You can feel when there's tense, that when there's a tense air around you, that you can cut it with a knife. You can feel those things. Those are your instincts. And sometimes God will literally, he will push it to be like, this is what's going on. This is right in front of your face. And you get like epiphanies. There are things that I have picked up on. It's almost scary, almost eerie. I have picked up on things that people have said, and I have said the same exact thing that they said about me or whatever to them without me even realizing it. And the look on their face or their reaction is always spot on. It was just like, oh my God, like, what do you know? It's just like, it's not what I know, it's what God told me. Pretty much it's the signs that show like this is who you're working with, this is who you're dealing with, this is who you're around. And when you put it up there, sometimes I'm not supposed to say it. Just feel like, don't be telling an angel you're talking to you. um, you don't pick up on the vibe, right? Don't say, you don't unmask the killer when you're alone with the killer, right? You're supposed to unmask the killer when you're around like hundreds and hundreds of people so you don't get killed. So thankfully, God has had his hand on me. I have not been killed yet, but yeah, there are times where I've said things and the person just looked at me and they almost stare at you like, you heard what I said. And we're both looking at each other like, yeah. It's a really, really very, very sad thing. But we are affected by implicit bias. And it's something that I don't know if it can be stopped because it's so second nature, and we've done it from the time we were born. It's something that we're taught, something that you instinctively have. You Before civilization became civilization, we relied on our instincts. We needed to survive, so obviously our instincts are a lot higher at that time, especially. So you need to know if there is like a mountain lion going to get us. You need to know, you know, this person is leading us down the wrong path, but we need to be going north. But this person's trying to lead us south. You have like an instinctual thing that pushes you. And if you have a walk with God, it's 10 times heightened. It's like you're a powerhouse of discernment. God will, he will talk to you. He will give you the signs. And if you listen to those signs, you listen to him, and he uses that instinct to like really gut punch you, like, no, turn around, don't cross the street yet, or make a left turn, or pick that thing up, and you don't know what you dodged. You don't know how many things that could have killed you on your way to work and you had no idea. It's one of those type of things. It'd be like, people have these phenomenal stories like, had I not, had I went to the store, like something told me to go get that bottle of water before I went to the store. Like, I was just gonna get it when I got to the job, but something told me to go get it now. And then like it was like a major freaking accident, like 30 blocks away, or the ferry had a crash, and if I would have went, I would have been on that boat or whatever, right? People have these stories that's like that. That's God literally talking to you. It's God literally pushing you, like, don't do this, don't do that. I'm trying to hold you, have my hand all on you. I'm trying to shield you. And I've seen it. I've seen it come to pass in my life. I've seen it come to pass in other people's lives. And the stronger connection that you do have with with God, it's your instincts become like fine tuned. It's like a well I forgot what it's called, but like when you have like a guitar, a violin, and you have the strings and you tighten them, it becomes you tighten them perfectly. So the slightest inclination changes the sound, and instinctively, because you've trained your ear to God's voice, that it's just like, take a left, take one step back, whatever it is. And it's not something where you reach zenith. I don't know, but I can say that it's a lot easier for God to wake me up than it is from what it was before. Um, but really, really don't lean to your own understanding. That's the crazy part. Don't lean to your own understanding. You could be crucifying Christ and letting go of the robbers and the murderers, right? Jesus' trial. They literally was just like, are we going to, crucify him? Or are we going to crucify the people that were known, like factually known, that they killed, they stole, they pillaged, they did all type of horrible, horrendous stuff. And you guys crucified the guy that was trying to save all of us. It didn't do shit to nobody. It was actually healing people and trying to fix the problem. And you guys crucified him. I can't say you guys. We crucified him. We all did. We all had a part in this. That's why we're born into sin. All of our hands are dirty, yo. Every single one of us. And because you didn't let anybody go to Jesus and be like, hey, let me just talk to you and be like, hey, what's up? You rather talk to all the friends around them, talk to the neighbor that lives 5 blocks down about them, instead of you actually talking to Jesus. No, I don't think anyone actually just sat down and was like, hey, I want to talk to you fair and square to find out what the hell happened. Like, what's going on? Because I really care. And pretty much my life is in your hands. That's the most responsible way of doing it. Like, ask the person why people go on trial. People get to speak on their behalf. Because if not, we'd be crucifying people left and right. And most often than not, that person's probably innocent. So it's just like, really think about it. Think about how many times that your ass caught a case and your ass had to go to trial, and you sitting there with butterflies in your stomach like, please, Lord, just let the jury be on some understanding shit. And like say, like if you black and if your whole jury is not, no one there is black, you're gonna be like, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. I'm doing life. Because it's a lot harder for people to not do implicit bias if they have no commonality with you. They don't know the black experience. They don't know the Spanish experience. They don't know the Asian experience. They don't know the Caucasian experience. They don't know. It's just like any race. If a white person goes on trial and the whole jury is black, I'm pretty sure the white person that's on trial is going to be like, I'm fucked, because there is no one that will understand me. And the only way to understanding is to be open-minded and actually interact with the person and speak with the person, find out what the hell happened with the person. And a lot of times people would just blame the person that's on trial. They don't ever blame the elements around it or the variables that happen around it. They rather just pin it on someone and let it go. How many people are in jail, in the prison systems right now that are innocent? How many people were accused of rape that were never raped, were never a rapist? And it's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years later? That's when people want to reopen a fucking trial and really look at the facts? And then what happens? It's a pat on the wrist for the person that accused rape. Why is the person that accused rape not going into jail for the rest of her life? You're a bitch. You're evil for that. Person know damn well the person wasn't raped. No rape investigation was done to this woman. But yet the man on trial was just thrown into the prison system for the rest of their life. And Lord knows, what the prison system, no one really truly knows what the prison system like unless you've been there. I can't really speak on the behalf of it because I've never been to jail. But watching The Wire, watching Oz and shit, and who old enough to know Oz from HBO? That shit was full of rape and full of sodomy, and that shit is like If a person never did anything and you send them into that type of wildlife, you're going to destroy someone that could have been the next president, somebody that was the next, pioneer in our economy. Like, you pillage, and it's fucked up due to implicit bias. Oh my God, that poor woman. No, her story sounds so good. But all the evidence is pointing that this man didn't do it. Yeah, but maybe, he had dementia. What? It just don't make sense, do it? Don't make sense. You need to know the facts because people can lie, people can manipulate evidence, and people can say whatever the hell they want to say to make themselves, look like they're the victim. And I think that's the perfect example. How many women have claimed rape, did the name game, right? And just went with it. Went with it. Total lie, went with it. And it got more extravagant. As more people got involved, the story got just more incriminating to this innocent person. And then what happens? Your mind, it's like, I forgot what the thing is called. But it's literally in, and I'm trying to see if that correlates to what I'm trying to say, but it's in this movie, a Pixar movie of feelings. And it's a scene where I think it's like happy or excited, sadness, and like this weird elephant guy. I need to see the movie again, but they go through this corridor, right? They're trying to get to like this part of the little girl's brain, right? To like the central hub. And they have to go through like this corridor, and it has like these caution signs all over it, right? And they have to go through the corridor so they can do a shortcut. That corridor, and the person is like, the elephant guy's warning them like, yo, this shit's gonna fuck up. It's like a mind trip. It's gonna fuck you up. Like, let's just make it through before like we become like a non-existent freaking thing, right? And I forgot what the concept really truly is. I have to really research it. But it's like if your mind cannot, if a thought can't fully form or something like that, or if you can accept something as what it is, like almost like, I guess, a learning curve, it's like defragmented thought. Like it's really weird. But I'm not sure if I'm in the right realm with this, and I have to do my research. Don't take it as sound doctrine. Please don't. Not everything I say, I'm not this know-all person. And I think a lot of people forget that, some things you get right, some things you get wrong. And if people think that you say all these things that are right, everything that you say now has to be correct. And that's not always true. We're human. We're going to make mistakes. But I know it's defragmented thoughts. But it's like we try to almost do fillers to make that thought a sound thought, like to make it like now it's a good thought. Now it can go into circulation. So it's like you'll come up with reasoning, right, as to why something does not is why dissonance is happening with you, right? Because cognitive dissonance is literally, it's one thing, but everything else is showing it that it's another. And your mind can't wrap its mind about itself around it, because that's like it's saying the sky is gray, but everything is showing that the sky is red, right? So you're trying to make sense that the sky does not look gray. The sky looks very red. So let me just try to figure out and make my own correlation as to why the sky is not, it's not gray. Or, maybe it's a reddish gray. You start trying to add things to it. And that's like, then it's the naming game. We do the naming games to ourselves a lot of the times. We try to make ourselves look like the better person, right? That happens a lot. We try to make ourselves like we are the victim instead of looking within. How many times has anybody done that? Right? Something happened and everything is that person, or a better example. You're dating, you're dating people, and people ask you about your last relationship, and everything that went wrong in that relationship is their fault. Nothing happened with you, right? Nothing. Not even to the point where you even allowed, you allowed certain things, like you didn't leave or whatever. There's no ownership or accountability with anything. It's always the world against you. You literally are playing the name game on yourself at that point, because there's no, like, you can't see the writing on the wall at all, right? So it's just like, always stay clear of people that think in defragmented thoughts. That victimhood, if you can't have accountability over your own actions, over your own self, how are you going to improve or get better at anything? And I had to learn this. The hard way a few times. Even though it's just like, yeah, sometimes you were the victim, but not often than not, like, you went down that road. You went down that road, so it's just like, that's like a woman, right? Now, I'm starting to get my Helena, my Helena figure from Street Fighter. It's gonna be a good summer. Anyway, that's like me wearing a string outside, right? And it's literally at 2:00 in the morning, and I'm walking down a suspicious alley, and I can walk down a well lit road, right? Or I can be inside the house at 2:00 in the morning, not go anywhere. But no, I decided to wear string, no clothes, and I decided to go outside 2:00 in the morning, right? And I decided to go down this alley that's notorious for rapes and notorious for robberies and stuff like that, right? But because of the invincibility, like, complex that we have, that usually you would have this when you're a young adult, before your brain fully develops. I don't know why that didn't develop with some people, but I decided nothing's gonna happen to me, right? Because we all think it can never happen to us, right? Cancer will never happen to us. Diabetes will never happen to us. A hit and run will never happen to us. And I walked down this alley, and then I ended up getting raped, right? And I go in, and it's all over the news, and I say, it's women's equality. I should be able to wear a string outside and have my ass and coochie and boobs hanging out without me being raped. And yes, for one most part, that is true. You should be able to go outside and not be raped. But where is your accountability at, right? Should you have went outside at 2 a.m. with a string on? Literally a string, like nothing on. Were you asking for it, right? Or were you not, right? So you may not have necessarily said, I want to get raped today, but your actions doesn't show due diligence, right? It doesn't show that maybe I should just wait until 8:00 in the morning where other people are out, and the police are more frequently the area, because not every cop is going to be on the overnight shift. Maybe I should have waited to 8 a.m. before I went out. Maybe I should have if you had to have gone out, maybe I should have wore actual clothes, and not a string. I'm talking a literal string, people. I'm not talking about, okay, she just wore a skimpy iron. I'm talking about a string. A piece of fucking yarn. It didn't cover anything. You might as well just been naked, right? I was naked. And I went outside. Well, people need to have better governance over themselves. Yes, they should have. And you should have better governance over yourself too. You're not the exception to the rule, right? We all need to have governance over ourselves and our actions. That's like a man going, right? An old man saying that he's a man of God, but then says some really wild shit 2 weeks later, right? And you're looking at the person like, you're not a man of God at all. Like, at all. And that happens a lot, right? So who's to blame? Who are we blaming? And who's taking up fault? I think everyone has some form of blame that they can take accountability for. Should I have chosen the people I've chosen in my life? No. I should have left. I should have stayed clear. I should have read the red flags and left. Should that person have done the things that they've done to me? No. They should not have. Two parties are both to blame. All your choices are going to cause a reaction. For every cause, there's a reaction. And until you learn that, until you realize you're not the exception to the rule, you'll go so much further in life. We're talking about life here, right? We're not talking about God. We're talking about life. Because life happens. God will help you navigate life. Because there's going to be pain in your life. It's your choices that's going to depict how much pain you're going to go through. Now, if I walk outside with nothing on, I'm subjecting myself to more pain. And I can't be, you can easily say, that's life, right? That's life. So it's just like, you have to really, really look at it. And you have to look at all the facts. You just can't be like, oh my God, let's not look at all about her. Let's just go to the guy that raped. And you'd be like, oh my God, you should be killed at the stake. You should be crucified. And that girl, it's just like, oh my God, thank God, right? Because she does not deserve to be raped. She does not deserve to be raped. And then literally a month later, she goes outside again to a different alley with a string on. And it happens again. And it's just like, I don't know why this keeps happening. Society's horrible. Why'd you go outside with a string? Someone's going to say, why'd you go outside with a string? Oh my God, you're insensitive. You're horrible. You're worse than the rapist. And it's just like, no, I'm just thinking logically here. You keep going outside butt naked and you're expecting not to get raped. Like, there are going to be people that don't walk with God. There's going to be people that don't have morals. There are going to be people that think rape is okay. You're living in a world that's like billions of people in this whole world. You mean to tell me everyone thinks morally? Are you really that naive that you think that everyone thinks on a moral-based level? That's lack of due diligence for you, right? That's just stupidity on you. So it's just like, I'm not going to give you a pat on the wrist. Both people are going to be judged fairly. Both people are going to be judged fairly. I think rape enough is literally going to be, it's like, there's no punishment for you. Rape is enough, and it's just like, that was the effect of your cause. But don't think that it's something that is going to be like, yeah, walk outside butt naked again. Like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, keep walking outside butt naked. Nothing's going to happen to you anymore. Life happens. Life is the most dangerous and fucked up variable that we will all encounter. It is literally the lion in the street waiting to devour our souls. And you're thinking that you're invincible to this? People die of lack of knowledge. So the smarter you are, the longer you fucking live, or the less pain you go through. Wisdom. And that's why it pays when it comes to wisdom. What I've learned, ask more questions than you fucking answer. Don't make up an answer in your head about if the person's sky is gray and you're saying, nah, but everyone said it's red. So I'm looking at it, it looks gray, but I'm just gonna say the person has dementia. It's definitely red. Like, ask questions before you start adhering yourself to falsehood. You don't know what exactly happened. You don't know exactly what went on. And if things don't sound right, things sound a little, this sounds a little fishy to me. I don't know. Believe your gut instinct. It's your gut instinct. Something keeps telling you this doesn't seem right. It probably more often than not isn't right. And you become a fool if you speak prematurely about something that you don't know. That's like one sister that has very strong work ethic and wants to further a team, and the other sister doesn't have very strong work ethic and needs some room of improvement with a lot of things, right? And kind of have gone through things that are a little bit embarrassing. And one group of people deem the sister that has a very strong work ethic as the other sister, and they literally are throwing things at them. They're trying to trip them or whatever, right? And then they come to find out that, it wasn't the work ethic sister, it was the other sister. And then how do you feel? You feel stupid at that point, right? But pride, we never just say, hey, I'm sorry for treating you like shit. I made a mistake. I didn't get all the facts. And I literally did implicit bias, and I made my own theory to my defragmented thought, right? Because some things stood out that I did not act on, right? Some things were instinctively telling me that this doesn't seem right, but I'm just going to keep going with it because that's what everyone else is saying, right? And then you're stupid. And then you're even more stupid because you didn't apologize, you didn't do anything. You just kept thinking like, okay, I'm not going to say nothing. And keep doing the same thing I did when I first heard that information, right? So you can hear something else about someone and then do the same exact thing, right? I don't listen to all the facts, and I'm just going to believe what I want to believe, and I'm going to act on it prematurely and then look like a fool again. Insanity is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. How do you think someone's going to want to talk to you if you keep having that same type of premature thought pattern? I can't talk to you. You don't think. You don't critically think. You lack critical thinking skills. You don't think outside the box. You think what people tell you, and it's like, it's almost like, do you really want to be called a sheep? Because that's what you're exhibiting. There's people that follow and there's people that lead. Who are you? And everybody wants to be a leader, but nobody want to be no damn leader. And black people, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, everybody want to be a nigga, but ain't nobody want to be a nigga. But anyway, and it's true. You want to be looked at this way, but you don't want the responsibility that comes with that. You don't know what people have to go through. You don't know the shoes that people have to walk in, but you want what they have. Jealousy. You don't know how the person had to literally what they had to go through to even achieve what they have achieved. You just want the limelight, or you want the money, or whatever, the overnight success, which you thought it was. In all actuality, it was nothing overnight. It was something in years in the making. It was a lot of tears, sweat, blood. Like, there's a lot that went on before that success happened. But because God pretty much, he loves to do this. He loves to develop you in silence. He loves to develop you in the dark. That's why seeds are grown in the dark. So when you do blossom, when you do pop through the ground, they're just thinking like, oh my God, a stem came up. They don't know the process that happened. You have to grow roots. You have to break the shell of your seed, the crushing of the seed. That shit is a whole nother level of pain. They don't know that. They just see a little stem with some leaves. And they're like, oh my gosh, I want that. I want to be a stem with leaves. You don't know what the fuck comes with that. You don't know the pain that comes with that. And until you experience it, you actually start respecting people that do acquire like really really good leaders, people that have grown things from nothing to something. You have a line of respect for them that it's just like, yo, I know you went, I don't know what you went through, but I know it was something. I know it was something. You went through some shit in order for you to achieve what you went through. These major companies, businesses, $1 trillion businesses, it's just like you got to just give homage and respect it, because it's something that, I'm a little fish. I don't think I'm even in the pond yet, of the realm of companies yet, because looking at how, businesses have, what businesses have to go through, what businesses have to face, like, it's, if you think you have no idea. It's one of those type of things. I don't know. It's just my whole theory of how I look at it now is just keep myself very small. Think your mindset very small. Don't think you're too big for your bridge. You get too big for your bridges, thinking that you know something when you know nothing at all. And it's just like, I'd rather go into a room full of a whole bunch of business people and then ask like, yo, like, how did you do what you did? Like, let me take you out for lunch, like, so I can pick your brain. Like, those are people you take out to lunch. Those are the people that you pay for their cup of coffee. Let me serve you. Like, be in a place of servitude. So it's just like, it doesn't matter how much shit you have to go through. How, you can have, you could be freaking volunteering, or have very little pay or whatever, but you're learning so much just by just being around the person that is doing exactly, with something that you can learn from, that you grow as a person. So it's just like, be in a place of giving, be a cheerful giver. Once you're able to do that, the sky is the limit. And that takes you being a critical thinker and being open to learning things. Don't think that you know everything, because then it becomes defragmented thoughts, because you don't know everything. You're going to try to fill those gaps with your own understanding. You're gonna fuck up. I even me talking right now, I don't know everything. Like, the whole defragmented theory could be completely wrong. I have no idea. I have to watch the movie again. I have to do a lot of research on that in order for me to say, okay, yeah, I was in the right run, like I was in the right arena with that. But I don't know. So like, don't take it as sound doctrine. Like, do your own research. It's like stocks. Do your own research. Every stock person tells you to do your own research. They don't ever tell you, I did this, and that, and that's how I got it. There you go. Do your own research, because your perception and their perceptions are two different things. Their situation is two different things than yours. You may have like $50,000 to invest. You may only have $100 to invest. That's two different game plans. Two different game plans. You're not going to invest into the same stocks than someone that does have more room to diversify their portfolio. So it's just like, you're going to have to do your own due diligence. You're going to have to stay up and watch videos and do a lot of reading and, ask around than you speaking to someone that has billions inside the stock market, and they're, the stuff that they're trading millions. They're not trading a couple of hundreds of dollars, trading millions of dollars on that stock market. Different game plan. But I don't know. I think we're all into autopilot. So much so that we have been spoiled, that we do not have to do due diligence as much anymore, right? Because the internet is so super fast and the internet is so accessible. I don't have to do anything. I just have to, it's an app. It's an app for that, and not everything is an app. Knowing someone's character isn't an app, knowing the truth about someone isn't an app. That takes critical thought. And if you're not able to do critical thinking, then you'll never know that person. Straight up. You will never get down to the bare bone of that person. You'll never be able to go deep with a person, because that takes a line of vulnerability and being open enough to actually really listen, to really exhibit empathy. Having empathy does not mean that you have to be, that you're like, oh, poor thing, oh my gosh. Like, having empathy is just understanding the person where they're coming from. That's all it is. You don't have to like them. You don't have to agree with them, anything like that. But it pays to understand them. Understand the situation, because obviously you're curious, you want to know it. You're participating in all the gossip around them. So obviously it will do you some good to actually get the facts from something that you're gossiping about, right? Do your fact check. You obviously are interested in knowing. So ask the person. Straight up just ask them. You never know what you never know the answer that you're gonna get. You don't talk to that person anyway, so it's not like it's gonna be like, oh my god, what if the person doesn't talk to me? They don't talk to you now. What does it fucking matter? Like, right? Right. So it's what it is. And it really shows who is who. Because some people like gossiping. Some people like to spread what they want to spread, right? They like to spread, it's propaganda. It's literally 1984 George Orwell. It's propaganda all over the place. And you can spread propaganda. It doesn't have to be about politics. You can spread propaganda about someone's character. You can slander them. And you can keep the ball going, keep the ball rolling, just by you participating in gossip. You'd be like, oh my god, don't talk to her because like I heard she's this way, and you have no idea. And then the very few times that you actually spoke to the person, you're just like, oh my god, the person's actually not like this. But you're gonna keep believing like, nah, it can't be true. The gossip said it was this, but we don't call it gossip. I heard it was this, and I'm cool with this person, even though I don't really know this person. The person could be talking about you too, People that usually gossip about you. Be very mindful of that. People that love talking about people, they can't help it. They're talking about you too. Just and believe. It's just that you don't know they're talking about you because, you're right in their vicinity. But if they're talking about people left and right, that's all they do. That's like they bread and butter, even though they don't even get paid for the shit. I'd rather do something I get paid for. Like, why would you talk about somebody for free? Like, newspapers get paid to do propaganda. Like, in all honesty, they're supposed to be telling the truth. Some do, and then some like to fucking make up shit. So it's just like news channels get paid. At least they're getting paid to do propaganda. It'd be like, okay, well, I think they got paid. Some people do this shit for free. That shit is mind blowing to me. You mean you get paid? Like you lie for free? Why? Why? It's just like you're misleading like all of America. You're misleading all of the world because you like to lie. And that shows a dysfunction in your character at that point. You free choice to do this shit. There's no gun to your head. You just want to do it. That shows somebody's character. And I don't want no parts of that shit. I'm just like, yo, that's evil, yo. God hates a gossiper, yo. He despises a gossiper because you can build up, you can breathe life, or you can kill something with your words. The power of life and death is with the tongue. And if you're not mindful of that and I'm just going to talk just to talk. I'm just going to talk shit just to talk shit because I want to. You don't know who you're affecting. You don't know the lives that you're affecting. And you're just doing it because you want to do it because it's entertaining because you're bored. Someone's going to talk about you. And most of that shit's probably going to be true because they can see your character. And you can't even get mad at that shit. You're gonna fall to you're gonna die at the same sword that you held. Oh my god, they said all these things about me. It's not even true. And you're like, who gives a fuck? You did it to everybody else. And you ain't fact checked nothing. So you can't even get mad. Can't get mad if somebody does the same shit to you. Now, if you're a person that always is on some I don't gossip with people, leave me alone. I don't talk to people. I see what your character is. I see how y'all move. I see how y'all talk about people. Then that's when you're labeled antisocial. But oh well, I'm sticking to my damn morals. I don't want no parts of that. No parts of it. Because you literally are destroying somebody else's life. And it's something that's probably not even fucking true. That's the crazy part about it. It probably wasn't even fucking true. And even if it was true, it's none of my fucking business. It doesn't even affect me. It doesn't affect me in the slightest. So it's just like, why do I give a shit? Why do I want to talk about something that does not? Does it help me better me as a person? Does it help does it help my finances? Does it help me spiritually? Does it help me emotionally? If it helps none of those things, then I want nothing to do with it. I'd rather learn some shit that's gonna better me. Give me some financial fucking tips, yo. Like, I'm trying to get it. Like, fuck this. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, we waste so much time. Social media. I waste a lot of time on social media, and at one point it was like an all-time high. It was just like, girl, you need to stop. Like, you need to, take a class or some shit, because you are like just debilitating. I'm smelling my sweat, and my sweat smells like nothing. I'm doing very well. Anyway, I don't know. It's a weird thing, right? It's like kidneys are working. I'm happy right now. I'm happy. Kidneys are working right now. It's like a gamble. It's just like you never know when you're gonna draw the unlucky symbol, and you're like, oh fuck, I can't go outside. It's gonna be hell outside. And people that go through health problems, it feel like it's not easy, yo. It's not easy. I don't wish this shit on nobody. Anybody that did have to go through it, everybody that doesn't have to go through that, cherish your health. Cherish your health. Instead of making fun of the person, which is like sick in itself. Oh, well, how are you that fucking evil? Like, you're making fun of someone that fucking is gonna die faster than you are. You're making fun of somebody's death. That's like me making fun of somebody that has cancer. It's like, you're gonna die. It's like, people look at you like you're strange, right? When you do that, it'd be like, oh, that's really dark. It's really evil for you to do that. The person obviously is like, the person's being in a hospital bed, on their dying on their deathbed, in order for you to feel bad. It's like, or not even that, for you to even leave them alone at that point. No, right? You got to keep it going. You got to kick them because they can't even get up. It'd be like, person's peeing blood, and you're like, ha 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 ha. Who pees blood? Look at the color of their urine. So nasty. Just be like, yeah, because their kidneys are fucking not working. They're having kidney failure. Like, yeah, it's one of those type of things. It's just like, who makes fun of that? People in the hospital, a lot of people in hospitals, they don't make fun of that shit because they see this shit every day. They see how certain like illnesses can destroy someone from the inside out, and it's just like, yo, bro, I'm sorry. Everyone that's on freaking oncology floor doesn't make cancer jokes. They never have. They never have, because they see that person even on their deathbed. You know how many people, I used to work in a hospital, how many people died? I had to be on a floor that had a code. And you can see the person, lifeless body, and everybody's trying to revive that person. And you're like, you see death you literally see death. You have an honor, respect for life. And to respect people that are facing terminal illnesses, or battling some shit that is just like, yeah, your lifespan is actually shorter now. Like, you respect that person. You respect what they're going through, because even the mindset to even face something like that is crazy. Like, there's no guarantee that you're going to get out, cure cancer, that your cancer is going to be in remission. There's no guarantee. You're just hoping for the best. You're hoping that you can kick cancer's butt, right? You hope that you're one of the survivors, but it's not guaranteed until the fat lady sings. So it's just like, why would you make fun of people that are going through that? Really ask yourself, are you going to say the person has dementia? Oh, they're not really going through it. The person has dementia. It makes sense, right? Does it make sense? All these things are showing, their levels, their hemoglobin, or this, they're that. It's all like pointing towards this. And you're like, nah, it can't be. It can't be. Person just probably doesn't remember. There are labs, they're physical fucking labs. It's public view. And you're like, nah. It must be Alzheimer's or something. Something that happens when you're like 70 years old. You're putting that on like someone that's 25. You have Alzheimer's. They're like, what? You know how much the brain has to go through in order for you to fucking get Alzheimer's? The brain has to go through a lot. You have to go through a series of fucking up certain things in order for you to get fucking Alzheimer's. Like, yeah, it's something that's just like, yeah, if it's in your family, but there's some things that you induce, that you do yourself, that it's just like, yeah, I gave myself Alzheimer's because I was doing this, or I wasn't eating this, or I did this, or whatever. There's things that are linked, right? Or diabetes. You eat sugar fucking day in and day out. You don't ever give your body a break to heal. You don't exercise. You don't do anything like that. And then you're like, oh, I got diabetes. It's just like, come on. You like make fun of someone that has to get their toes cut off because of freaking diabetes. That's fucked up. Haha, you have no toe. That's just like, who does that? Who does that? It's evil. But people do that, especially younger generations. Shit, I can't even say younger generations. Everybody does it. Everyone can get it. And they all do it. So it just doesn't matter what age you are. I've seen people that are younger that actually have, that actually critically think and show more empathetic, a more empathetic skill set than someone that is in their 70s. So it's just like, it doesn't matter what the age is. It's all about perception and your mindset. And are you able to look outside the box? Bye. That's all it comes down to. So are you going to think defragmented? Or are you going to think whole thoughts? Or are you going to gather information so your thought is whole? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And you got to ask yourself, are you to blame for some of the stuff that goes on with people? Because by you not saying anything and you just furthering the gossip or furthering a line of thought without you actually confronting, saying anything, asking questions, you are to blame too. That's like that's like a lynching. And I always use this analogy. A lynching is a lynch mob. Two people were the only ones that actually did the physical part of the lynching, but the whole lynching mob is all guilty because you actually sat there and watched someone kill somebody. You literally watched someone hang from off a fucking tree, and you were okay with that. You, ma'am, accused this poor young man that has so much to give to this world of rape. And you know damn well ain't nobody touch your fucking coochie. Ain't nobody want to touch your coochie. Ain't nobody want to fucking fuck you. And you lied. Right? For fucking like 50, 40, 60 years. And you are the one that's not to blame? You're not the one to blame? Ain't no one fucking fucked you and you're not to blame? Okay then. I'm pretty sure shit. I can't even go down that rabbit hole because people are gonna be like, she's racist. I'm not racist. It's literally factual truth. There's hundreds of people, thousands of people in jail right now that are underneath, that are completely innocent off of some shit of an emotional bitch. Off of the words of an emotional shit. Just immature, baby, selfish, spoiled bitch. I always get my way, so I'm just going to do this so I can get it more. Be like, you, ma'am, deserve to be in jail. Like, I hope you feel it. Because that's evil. People will sit there and accuse like a 13-year-old fucking kid. A child, okay? 16 years old, 18 years old, just became an adult. And now has to go to jail for like 50 years. Off of this bitch's lie that know damn well she shouldn't have wore a fucking string outside at 2:00 in the fucking morning. Be like, and God forbid she wasn't raped, but she just wanted attention. God forbid she wasn't raped. And she's, oh, well, I don't want no one to see me as a whore, so I'm just going to say the person raped me. You know how many times that happens, though? It happens a lot. Now, there's some people that actually, it takes away from people that actually were raped. That actually was just like, yo, you know, I was 20 and I went over to my fucking friend's house and their fucking sick uncle or fucking whatever, we were sleeping and like, you know, he did some evil fucking shit. I didn't ask for that shit. You actually take away her fucking voice. You take away her pain by you acting on those things. You actually take away, you invalidate her story because of that shit. There's some people that have gone through some real shit, some real fucked up things. And this ditzy bitch wants to, you know, feel like a me too. Oh my gosh, somebody did something to me because, you know, no one ever liked me while I was in high school. So now I'm going to do this because, you know, I have a little bit more privilege now. Stop it. Have a fucking seat. If nobody wanted you then, nobody wants you now. Just better yourself. Go to the gym. Do some squats. You know, it's like, come on. People will call you all type of stuff. I've been called gorgeous, beautiful, ugly, all type of shit. All type of stuff. You think that shit stops me from having joy? No. I still sing. I still fucking dance. I still do what the fuck I want to do. And I still on my Helena journey, okay? We're going to have that Helena. Y'all Street Fighter. Yo, people that are gamers, Street Fighter. I used to be on some like Chung-Li shit, right? I was like squat queen. But, love me some squats. But, Helena is like the only black character. She's like the only black female character. And her body is sick. I'm sorry. Okay, every single time she does her shit, I think in Street Fighter 3, she be on a beach. She be doing her little, you know, her little kicks or whatever. And she be like, oh yeah, with the peace sign, her little white hair, her little pixie cut. I was like, yo, that's me. I'm gonna be on my Helena shit. Like, fuck that. Like, Helena needs a spotlight. Chung-Li staying in a spotlight. I'm going to be Helena. Helena. For freaking this year, okay? And I'm gonna maintain that shit, possibly, for a long fucking time. This way I always have that Helena. You're like, oh shit, who you gonna be for for Halloween? Helena from Street Fighter. That bitch wear freaking Fifth Element shit. Like, well, obviously I'm not going outside, because I don't want to be the chick that wears a string. But shit, from my husband, I'll be Helena. Shit, I'll role play Helena real quick. Anyway, yeah, it's getting mad personal. Anyway, and that's not going towards godly things. But I'm talking about his husband, like marriage. Anyway, don't be doing that shit just to be doing it, right? I do not believe on some like, yeah, date and be fucking people. Like, nah, bro. Like, you're not gonna find the one. Like, you're not gonna find the one. I don't know. Maybe you will. I don't know. I don't know your journey. I don't know. You know, God may actually bless you with it. But the things I found out, it don't matter if you've been, you know, that's my boyfriend for 3 years. I've had boyfriends, and we weren't married, and I had sex. Did it work? Am I still? Am I with them? No. Did it work out? No. So it's just like, you know what? I think I want to go, you know, work on myself, make me happy. Stay, you know, learn me. Before I do, you know, before I step my toe in there and go actually find a suitable person. Because we all are prizes. And the more you work on yourself, the more prizable, the more big you become third prize, the first prize. And you're not a first prize to everybody. You're a first prize for your spouse. So just like keep working on yourself. Like, yeah, your spouse is always going to be your spouse. The person that God has for you, you're always going to have them. Doesn't matter. But wouldn't you rather be like, yeah, like I leveled up and I'm like I started as level fucking 5 and I'm level fucking like 80, you know, instead of you just sitting on your ass, sitting on your fucking thumbs for like, you know, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Like, I'm just gonna wait for he comes and I work on nothing about me. And then you have to do all this work when you do meet him. That can be a make or break. Maybe like, yeah, another lifetime. I saw and I didn't like her ass. So you never know. You never know. That person will always be for you, but be ready. Be in a position. And if you work with God, I'm telling you this, God will make your ass in position. He will make you in position. He'll be like, bitch, you need to work on your stocks. You need to start learning. Hit the books, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna hit the books. The next thing you know, you're walking inside of a room and all of a sudden you meet your stockbroker husband. And you're like, yeah, so you don't know stocks very well, but you know this very well. And you've been doing this for like a little while, and I don't know this, and we need that about you. And you need me about this. And then shit works. But if you're not doing anything to better yourself, nothing, come on. Like right now, I'm focusing health. Everything that needs to be fixed, I'm going to fix. Because what the cards that I'm dealt with, I'm trying to keep my mortality rate as long as possible. You don't want to meet the one and then die. Or you want to meet the one and be like, oh God, your toxins in your body is a little too much for me, ma'am. You haven't found your right diet yet, or you haven't found the right system yet. And you're like, I'm working on it. You want to reach your epiphanies. Are you not working on it at all? That's like me saying, fuck it, I got kidney disease. I'm going to eat whatever the fuck I want to eat. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. And then when they meet you, be like, oh my gosh. It's like, oh, you're not doing anything to help yourself? No. Why? And be like, yeah, I don't want to be with you. Like, you're not helping nothing. That's the mindset. But if you are, like, I want to help, like, I want to better myself. I want to do things that I'm helping to further myself. I think anyone would be like, she's working on herself. I can respect that. I can respect it. I can respect anyone that's working on themselves. And I'm not talking about financially either. I'm literally talking about character-wise. Because your character, if you can work on your character's solid, everything else falls in place. You will learn discipline. You will learn ambition. You will learn honesty. You will learn, like, all these things are in place. You have patience. You have this. All those other things you're going to need in order for you to be successful in other things in your life. You're going to be successful financially because now you have the discipline and the consistency to work at it. Like, something that you didn't have before. I don't know. It's time. I got to get my son ready for school.